from the US, who will speak about the collagen miracle and why it's not enough for useful regeneration. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be ready in a second, and here we are, the collagen miracle and why it's not enough. I have no conflicts of interest. The whole thing starts because the body decays at a very fast rate of degeneration, and so we need a solution. So the anti-aging company, the anti-aging industry invented the collagen miracle, which is very important because collagen constitutes about 12% in females, 17% in males, of not just the skin, but just everything. And you can see how the skin changes as a result of the collagen being reduced. Collagen is a very important protein because it's a structure into everything, really. From the heart valve to the blood vessels, not just skin, into bone. There's all kinds of structures. Skeletal muscle are also very important. And there is about 16, even more now, types of collagen. And there's collagen subtypes. So this, it's a very kind of, it becomes a kind of a larger concept and now even more subtypes of collagen. You see like 27 subtypes of collagen. So here we're coming into a sort of a crossroad where all of these types of collagen must interact. And we're getting into the concept of a networking. That is a very important concept, and I'm introducing you kind of slowly to see how important is this networking of collagen. So it's not just putting some more collagen into the skin, but how can we replicate this networking of many different collagens, all of which are very important for anti-aging. So collagen alone is not enough. Why? Because there's about 10,000 proteins at the upper epidermis. Then as you go a little deeper, it's another 9, so about 18,000 altogether. And as you go into the dermis, it's another 9,000 proteins. And what exactly is a protein? I'm going to say in a second. So for true facial rejuvenation, it's not just the collagen, but so many other processes, including the networking of these processes. So it's cellular processes, is interaction of the cells, interaction of the proteins, response to stimuli, toxicity, inflammation. All these aspects are very important. That's why these people have the best surgeons, these very famous people, and they don't look good as they age, as you can see. Why? Because what we give them, just the collagen, is just not enough. So collagen is a protein. What does that mean? A protein is made of amino acids. As you can see here, it's made of amino acids. But it's very important that all of this process has to be folded. If the protein is not folded, then it's not functional. So, and there's no mechanism to determine what's going to happen to the proteins that you're injecting into the system, if they will fold or if they will stay unfolded, in which case they're going to be giving nonsense mechanisms and nonsense signals to the other systemic interaction, internetwork. So keep will denature the proteins, and renaturation has to happen through different techniques like resonance energy transfer that we have now, that we know that folds different proteins. And the problem with unfolded proteins is not just neurological problems like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's, etc., but also the heart, the digestive system. All of these, the entire body will be disorganized as a result of proteins being unfolded and delivering protein signals. So the proteins are the brains of the cell. Collagen is a protein. Collagen is part of the brain of the cell, but it's not alone. It has to be a lot of other proteins that are interacting to create them. And this is the message that I would like to give you today, that youth is a lot more than the lack of collagen. So, a lot more than the lack of stem cells or the lack of hormones or exosomes. It's basically the interaction of all of these elements together in a networking ability. So it's not the body is not just a glass that it empties and we have to fill it up again. It's an alive mechanism that basically interconnects. And the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry found about 200 million of proteins. And all of these proteins have to be interacting. So it's the interconnectivity that can only happen in alive mechanisms and not in, and also the proteostasis. Proteostasis is one of the most important rejuvenation aspects. Basically, proteostasis is aging. The loss of proteostasis is aging. There's a lot of books that have been written on this, and this is from our lab. Look, the longevity and youth is the harmonious interaction of biological processes. This is the message that I would like to deliver today and give you. And this is the message that I have in my new book that I call The Rhythm of Youth. Why? Because youth has a rhythm and aging has lost that rhythm. And what is that rhythm of youth? Is that interconnectivity. Now this started with the Nobel Prize in 1999, where it was found that different proteins not only have an interconnectivity, but they know the address of what they have to go. And this is Dr. Blobel, who was the first to kind of speak about that. So a typical mammalian cell contains about 20,000 of proteins. You can, just one cell, and all this interactivity of different cells is very, very important. And there's something very important also that you can see in the cell. You see a resonance, you see a rhythm, which is why I wrote the book, The Rhythm of Youth. It has a rhythm. The young cell has actually a rhythm that the old cell lacks. And that is another important message that I would like to offer you today. This is me in our lab. And then you're talking about exosomes, right? Exosomes have become so popular these days. Well, now you have collagen injections, and then you have exosomes. What is exosomes? Exosomes are signals. So this is the, so you have a resonance process that interconnects everything. And then you have the exosomes, which is like the cars, and inside the exosomes are the proteins and mRNAs and microRNAs, etc. So it's the resonance that is a very important aspect of aging that people do not pay attention to it. This is what interconnects all these mechanisms, all this network. And what you see in resonance, you see everything is then connected, everything turns alive. This is youth. Resonance is youth, and you can actually measure it, and you can find, this is again in our lab. And what you see in this slide, this is under the microscope. Do you see how cells intercommunicate? Of course, collagen cannot possibly be enough, because there's a communication that we have to pay attention as anti-aging doctors. We have to pay attention that in this interconnection is one of the most important things of how we can bring back youth. Because what is aging? Aging is disharmony, is broken links. And proteostasis is what basically holds everything together. And resonance energy transfer is what basically increases the homeostasis and proteostasis. Resonance energy transfer is a new technology. It was invented in the 50s, but people are paying attention to it now. You can find it RET or SRAT or FRAT, FRAT, SRAT. Actually, I'm almost done. So this is another slide from our lab, and now this is what resonance does. Do you see how resonance turns the entire thing alive? And again, I don't want to take anything out of collagen, but what I would like to add is that you have to start thinking of how you can interconnect the system, because without this interconnection, without this resonance, the new rhythm joining the system, you're not going to be able to reproduce youth. You're just going to have what you saw before, somebody's face being filled, but not looking young. And this is the different types of resonance that have been used together today in nuclear magnetic resonance and small angle X-ray scattering. All of these are resonance techniques that they can fold proteins. And remember, the proteins, when they're unfolded, they cannot function. And when they cannot function, they give the wrong messages to other proteins, and then the entire system gets disorganized. And look what happens in a situation where there's resonance. The network is revived, is interconnected, and this is what you see when you have this resonance process, the rhythm of youth, which is what my new book is about. And it's again from our lab and how we're basically monitoring all this. These are my references. Of course, I have more than that. I didn't know what I was going to fill pages and pages of references. This is my other books have been translated in 12 different languages. Again, they also bring up the same point of interconnectivity. And with this, I would like to thank you for inviting me in China. I'm very proud. I'm very honored to be here. This is my WhatsApp if you want to take a picture. I will answer any questions you may have. Please keep, text me. And if you have any questions, because I know this lecture is kind of a little bit complicated, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this interesting lecture. A lot of questions, I believe, in the end. And now we will welcome Dr. Wu Yan, who will speak about